Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, and it's jelly plate play time again. Okay, as normal, I'm going to set my 1 hour timer. Now, yes, I know I ignored it last time, but I spoke a lot before I started working last time. So you know what? My video, my rules, I'm going to bend them. I wanted to start out, we're doing 12 by 12, 12 by 12, 5 white pieces of paper cardstock again. These are 250 GSM. You can do it on anything, and we will do in the future. One of the things I said in the last video is I really didn't like this one. It turned out really muddy. I'm gonna show you how I will pull this back and rescue this. Also, the labels are an ongoing thing. I managed to peel them all off again. Which one was it? Peel them off the jelly plate and put them back on the backing. So, but as you saw in the last video, that's why I don't normally put the labels directly onto the jelly plate. So we're going to continue to work on those as well. And I think we just need to get started. I did remember, where is it? I did remember to bring in my colour wheels to actually explain, if you get stuck for colour combinations, how to get out of it. So let's start by building some background colours. I'm going to do 5 pale background colours purely because I actually just want to do some background colours so everything's not white. Let's see if that's in screen. I think that's in screen. You'll note I don't usually wash my jelly plate. At the end of a session I usually do a clean up print which pulls it all out. So I'm going to try and group colours, and I want to do them quite lightly. So I'm going to have that colour. Oh, there's the white. Some white. What will go nice with that? I think maybe a touch of this. So I'm just going to do sort of an ombre effect on the board this time, or on the jelly plate this time. If you've got any paints, make sure you shake them well, because if you don't, you'll end up with problems with them, because they'll either separate and they'll come out as water, or they'll come out in big globby goops. So, technical term there. So that's the white. I'm going from lighter to darker. That's the mid-range one. I do have my little jelly plate here. As you know, I use that as a palette a lot of the time. I'm going to put a little bit of the blue because I don't want it too dark. And if I need to clean off my brayer, I've got papers over here I brayer onto, and then they become something, or I brayer off onto my small jelly plate there. So I'm just going to come in. I don't want the white contaminated, so I want to make sure that's a good coating there. Then I'm going to come to the middle colour, take that across a bit. It's a lovely colour. That. What is the colour of that? It's called Bahama Blue. And then a bit of a darker colour on this side, just to fade that last bit out. Actually, I think I want a bit of a darker colour than that. So let's put a bit more of that in there, just so it's got a bit of darkness to it. Now, if you are doing ombre work from side to side, don't go back there with this brayer. So clean this brayer off in some way, and then work over the joins, because if you don't, you'll contaminate the colours you've already got. And then I like to, just when I've got the last section, I like to just do a few lines up and down, just to get rid of the majority of any brayer lines in there. As I said on the last video, and I will say on every single video, I am not an expert in any way, shape or form. This is just me learning. I've done jelly printing for some time now, but only for my own use and only privately. No one normally sees me do this. I enjoy it, I love it, and because I'm OCD and I have no control over what comes out, I love the fact that I can just do this. Okay, and I love the fact they lifted some of the colour off from before. So that's the first one done. Yes, I'm no expert, so if you're here thinking this is a tutorial, it's not a tutorial, guys. This is just me having a go, enjoying myself. I'm going to keep the ombre effect going, I think. Yes, I'm going to do white on this side. Me enjoying myself, having fun, creating, stress-free, mixed media, whatever you wish to call it. I'm just having fun doing what I do, and I'm loving it. Now, I don't care that there's a bit of that colour there. That's going to pick up on the next one and make it even more interesting. This is not a non-brand. This is basically a bottle that, I get to low on colours of green. I just throw it in that bottle, so they end up being really interesting colours. So I'm going to come in, give my white, get the white sorted out so it's nice and covered. Come in and pick up that paler colour in the middle. It's almost like a buttermilk colour. And then I'm going to come in and pick up that vibrant green on the end. I've probably got too much green on there, which is why I usually use that palette, but I can always brayer some of that off, maybe onto one of our label sheets. How about that? Yeah, let's get rid of some of that. So as you saw me do in the last one, I will clean the brayer in between trying to blend the colours. And I want to do it really light brayering, just so I don't have a huge amount of lines. Right, that's that. Actually, I'm going to pull in the piece we don't like. So this is the one I don't like. I'm going to change it. So I'm not wasting the card. I'm just changing the thing. I might see stuff behind it. I might see through it to the older layers. That's fine. It's just that one didn't work for me. So take it away and make it something else. There you go. So that design is completely gone. I quite like that effect, so I'm going to see whether I can pick that up on another sheet. And that came about because I had too much paint on my jelly plate. As I've said, am I in screen? I am in screen. As I said, I tend to put too much paint on my jelly plate normally, which is why I like using that little brayer piece there as my palette. And up we come. Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, that's interesting. As you can see, it's pulled up some of the gunk from previous sessions, probably the last session we did actually. It's given me some really nice detail in there. Loving that. So let's see. Let's use a bit of pink. I'm not a huge person for pink. I can't say it's the colour I reach for. Let's see if I've got anything that's like a peony colour. Actually, that's wine red. Let's see about that. So I'm going to put the lightest colour here. I've probably added too much again. I am notorious for adding too much colour. Oh, that's another thing. Don't open your colours over your jelly plate, because any gunk that's caught in here, I think it's going to need a little bit more of that actually. In the lid is probably going to drop on there, and you'll spend more time picking it off than you will actually jelly plating. And I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of the darker colour there, because it's a more intense colour. It's going to go further. So let's get the pink. Oh, as you can see, the pink must have been, it must be a bottle I'm just adding other colours to at this point, because I've got a nice mixture of stuff in there. Now I don't want to end up with flamingo pink, which happened on one of the last jelly plate prints. So I do want, I like that darker colour. Let's carry that across. Okay, I think that's going to be okay. Let's pull another print off. So I'm pulling these off until I have 5. And if this is the first one you're watching, there is a video called What's in My Jelly Plate Printing Drawer. That will explain most of the stuff that I'm using, although I will be adding stuff as I go along. And when I say I'm pulling a print, this is what I mean. I'm pulling a print off the text, off the mat. Okay, I love that. That's beautiful. It's nice. So how many have I got now? That's 4. I wonder. Okay, I never use grey in jelly printing. And I'm wondering whether a bit of grey with a bit of white will give this a sort of steely background to the look of it, because I think that's going to look gorgeous on a bit of grey. So again, what's happened to the top of that? Let me just grab a bit of kitchen roll. So you appear to be enjoying what I'm doing, even though possibly I don't know what I'm doing. It's interesting. I like the fact that you're all willing to come along on my journey with me, and actually understanding that we're learning together. I do watch lots of other artists work with jelly plates, and I cannot for the life of me recall all of the different artists I follow or watch, but seriously, just put in jelly printing or mono printing. Even the website that sells the jelly plates, I think it's called Jelly Arts. They have a blog section where they've got people doing it all the time. It's an incredible art form, and I find it very addictive. Hence, we have the timer. And this time I intend adhering to that timer, if I can. Right. Now, you may have been thinking, as I did that, I've covered all that pink with grey and it's going to look just grey. The colour that is on the surface is the one that will then become the front. So if that was the pink and I put the grey over it, when I turn the page over, the pink should be on the other side of it. Okay, we say the word should because no guarantees in life, people, no guarantees in life. So it's no guarantee I get this off here either. Right, let's lift this up. I've left that on a little bit longer than I should, so it's a bit sticky, but you know, it's cleaned that plate beautifully. And I'm loving that. Pity about that down there. That happens if you just pulled from a corner. You should pull from two ends because otherwise you get that ripple effect through the middle. I don't overly mind that. It is going to bug me though. So I think, yes, I think I'm going to abandon that one for the second. It will be seen in the future. I'm going to do that again because I really liked that colour combination. So I think I'm going to actually do it as a sort of ombre effect. Because if I dislike something at this point in the game, there's no hope in heck that I'm going to like it by the time I get to the finishing post. So, sorry about the indecision, guys. That's just, the colour combination was right. My pulling it off the jelly plate was not right. So therefore we had that ripple in it, and I don't want a ripple in it. If I hadn't have been on the first layer, if I'd been several layers in, I probably would have left that as it was and just coped with it, but I wanted it better than that. And I quite like the idea of this colour combination. Right. Luckily enough, I have spare sheets with me. So let's pull that one in. So looking behind me, we've got some really nice light coloured backgrounds, and I will show you them individually in a second just so we can have a look at them. So there you go, that's better, that's more what I wanted. Pinks and greys, almost an earthy colour there, loving that. So right, that's the one we just did. This was the one that was done before it. We seem to be going for a pink theme. Really liked this one. That cleaned off the plate from before. This was the first one I did. This is the one where we re-resurrected a previous one. So this is the saving one. This will probably become very much a clean-up sheet. So, right, let's put these all down on the floor to dry. As you saw in the What's in My Jelly Plate video, a jelly drawer video, my floor is covered by a bed sheet. And it kind of has to be. So I think I want to stay in order. I want to use this one first. So let me just have a little bit of a clean up over here of my brayer, because I don't really want to contaminate that too much. Just get a damp cloth, just clean off my brayer. Some people never clean their brayer, and I can understand that. It just builds up and up and up and gives you more texture. I can't do that. So I have to clean my brayer. I don't always clean my large jelly plate, but I usually clean my small jelly plate because I want it that way. I want it clean so it doesn't contaminate any further pieces of anything I put on it. Off there. There's a mark in the jelly plate. Right. Okay, so if I'm looking at this colour, I want something blue on this, I think, now. And I think I want to go sort of sea themed. You've seen me use this before. That's what I really love. I did come across on the internet, I found a pile of these. It was a complete set of Mandela stencils, and I loved it. And I thought, oh, I love that. And it wasn't that expensive either. So you're going to be seeing these a lot, I feel. I can't remember whether it's 15 or 20 is in the set. As I said, I found it on eBay. I should have used that one. So we're going to be playing with that today as well. So what I want to do though is I want to put a layer of blue on here. Don't mind the pink on there. And then I'm going to put these on there, and then I'm going to pull the print off over the top of it. So I want quite a dark blue, I think. That's a bit dominant. That's a bit baby blue. This is very policeman blue. I'm thinking that's the wrong colour. Actually not, maybe I will do this one, right. Okay, I'm going to do this directly onto the jelly plate, for the simple reason I want full coverage anyway. I don't need a thick coat, I just need the jelly plate covered. So I think once this is on and it's a thin colour, it won't be as vibrant. I mean, if I wanted to, I could always put a bit of white into this to knock it back. But I think we'll be okay. So hopefully some of you are out there playing. Hopefully some of you are having fun. I don't know that there's anyone going to be crafting along with me, because I'm not sure that that's actually going to be possible, as I never announce what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or what colours I'm using or anything. Just going to pop that on there. So I'm going to lay this over the top. Right, I'm going to give it a little bit of thought as to where things go. That will end up there, I'm fine with that. So I'm going to lay this over the top. Now, when it comes to using stencils, if you've got a heavier cardstock, like this is slightly heavy, you need to work it so that your fingers are pressing down enough for the jelly plate to pop up through the stencil. You're not going to get a perfect impression purely because of the thickness of the card. The thinner you go with the medium you're printing onto, the more defined your stencil work will be underneath it. It's also going to pick up all of the other bits of blue as well. So I'm going to have blocks of colour in here. Okay, that really changed the character of that. I'm going to leave that and love that. So I'm going to take this off here. I might try and print it onto one of the labels. And as you can see, I've just got a really faint outline, but I'm okay with that. Again, lift this one off here. I might try and print that onto another sheet of labels, and that one didn't give me anything at all, so that's fine. So right, I've got that on there. I'll roll that bit out a bit because there's quite a bit of ink in there. Now I'm thinking, do I want that colour on anything else? I probably do, but I'm not sure I want all of this. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just stretch that colour around a bit, just so I'm taking out the defining edge of that stencil. Just so that's an element on there. I'm then going to come in, where's my, I think I might put just a tiniest bit of blue down the edge of here. Lift that out of there. So just a bit. I like the blue with the pink, that's fine with me. We have the one that I didn't really like. Now I've got that green down there, that space down there, so I'm just going to give it a bit more of a brayer just to expose it out, so I've got the white on that edge. Just tidy that up there as well, and see what I can pull off here with this. Now the paint has been sat a while, so it's dried, so I will not get a perfect print out of this one, guys. I definitely won't get a perfect print. If I did, I'd be really surprised. So again, lift this up, take it away. Okay, now I'm getting some really interesting textures on there. Loving that so far. And I'm wondering whether I can just pull a little bit onto this one. So I know I didn't show you guys, but I was in a hurry because this paint is drying. So I'm not sure I'm going to get anything off on this one, but I'm willing to have a go. I did, I got a bit off it. So that's interesting, it's in the background. Right, this one I think could do with something now. Put him up there. Now, we have blue on here. I'm not overly concerned there's blue on here, but I do want something to go with that. Now, actually, this would be a good idea to show you. So if I've got this colour and I'm a bit undecided, I will pull in a colour wheel. Normally this one, this is from making quilts and stuff like this. This is a generic one. The reason I like this is, okay, if I look at this square here, this colour pretty much sits within there. So if I look opposite it, it's saying its contrast colour is green. So green would make this really pop. If I look at the colours either side, those colours are complementary. So depending on what I put on there, I can change the character. They're a triad, and I don't get all of this. I only get that and that, to be honest. And then it's just the way it is. That's what I like. So I use the colour wheel if I get stuck. Like if I was using this, I'd have to guess it was one of those colours. Like, let's see, I'd have to move this around until I found that's almost that colour, and it's saying green as well. So I think we're going to go for green. So what the green's going to be, I'm not sure. What we're going to stencil, I don't know. So where's something with a bit of texture in it for you? I wonder. Let's put an alphabet on there, shall we? So I've got this. It's a really thin stencil. And I'm choosing this one because obviously that's card. Now, thing to know about lettering is if you want to read it this way, you need to stamp it that way. Okay, so it comes off backwards. So let's reach in. I want to grab a bit of white because I do not want this to be really dark. I want this to be quite a light green colour. I've got this vibrant green I like to use, so I'm going to put a bit of that over there. So it's going to be a pale, and I'm okay with it being pale. So don't mind there's blue on there. Not really, because blue and yellow make green. So I'm kind of okay with that. I think there's possibly a bit too much paint on my brayer. Take that off. Right, so we've got different shades of green on here now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my stencil on one side of this, straight as I can. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to choose the dark side, I think, for this one. And I'm going to lay this only where the stencil is there, so this doesn't contaminate anything. Then I'm going to work it down with my fingers. I'm not pressing overly hard, but I do know I need to press a little harder than normal just to actually get the colour to come through. Okay, gently lift that off. Okay, absolutely love that. Right, so that's that bit done. Now I'm going to take this away. And I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm just going to let it be. Now, that I'm going to leave dry. I want to do something with that. Now, actually, that one might work. Okay, I've got this leaf stencil. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to lay the leaves on there. And let's find out something that looks kind of tropical. Okay, this looks kind of tropical. I'm going to come in. I'm going to pull the print off the edge there. I have to be a little bit careful because I don't really want anything else on it. And again, not going to be a perfect print, guys. But it does give me something interesting. I'm liking that. Take that out of there. That can sit somewhere else. As Gail Augustinelli would say, talk amongst yourselves. I'm hunting. Well, she doesn't say she's hunting, but she does say talk amongst yourselves. Ah, there you go. I knew I had it somewhere. So this is the one I also like the look of too. And I'm just going to put that over there. I'm just going to try and pull up one tiny little element out of there just so that it's something of interest in the corner of this stencil. There you go. So it's just a little something in there. Not a problem. Loving that. Now, as we've got all of that going on there, I wonder if I just print that on there. Is that going to work? So I lift some of that paint off. Yeah, it gave me a little bit of an... I'll see if I can do the same at the top. This paint is really quite dry at the moment, so there you go. So we've got all that going on here now. Do I have one that matches that would look good with that? I don't think I do. But what I might do, is it gone? Oh, there we go. Right, I'm going to get a bit of tissue paper. You've seen me do this before. Well, you have if you watched the previous video. I'm going to take a bit of tissue paper. This is a 12 by 12. This is just gift wrap tissue paper. And I'm not going to even pretend I can get the creases out. I'm just going to do a pull this way, just because I can use this for collage. So, and it's a way of helping me just reduce what is on the plate at the moment. There you go. That just gives me a little bit of an interesting bit of tissue paper for something else. Don't stick twice. So, right, that's over there. Right, how much have I got on this plate? I think I'm going to try and get a bit of a ghost print on here. Now, when you're doing ghost prints, there are no guarantees they're going to come out because the paint has been sat there for a while, so I cannot guarantee it's going to work. But there are some nice surprises when you do this. And that wasn't one of them. There you go. Just that didn't work. And why didn't it work? It didn't work because the paint has already dried too much. Okay, so there's always a reason why things don't work. So I've got that on that plate. I quite like that on that plate. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fresh background just to clean off the plate. I don't need all of that on my plate, and I think I just want to do a fresh background, and maybe I'll do it with this sort of buttermilk colour. So this will only work if that's dry. So hopefully it's dry enough to be braid over the top, or we will have made another mud pie. So if that's still in shot, it is. So just load up my brayer a bit, and then just come in and give this a bit of a coating over the top. Sometimes I find that my cleanup backgrounds are my favourites. It's like sometimes when I've done the stickers and labels, I find that they are my favourites. So there you go. It's a thin enough coat to have wet the card enough to lift off, the paint enough to lift off. Put that on top of there. There you go. Now it's going to be a hard pull because obviously I need to. It's pulling all of the previous layers off with it. Oh, that's cute. I'm liking that. Well, we'll add that to the pile of the ones we're working on. As I said before, it becomes addictive and you will end up with so much, so many backgrounds. Just clean that pad off a bit so don't contaminate the next bit. Right. I think I need to now look at what we've got on one of them and see how to enhance and finish one of them, because in the first video I didn't really feel that I'd completed any of them, so I just want to make sure that in this instance I do. So let's pull in this one. Right, I like this. I think it needs a pop of something. I hate the word pop. I don't know why I say pop all the time. I do think it needs something, and I've got a feeling I just want to put a repeating pattern on here, just maybe in a section of it. So I think I'm just looking through this pile of stuff I've got, guys. These are things I made up that I use to put visual texture onto stuff, and it's finding one that's pleasing to the eye. I did like the circles, actually. I like the lines, but I think they're a bit much. Or I like the dot. Let's look at the dots. Right, okay. Because it's almost a sea theme, bubbles would work on here. I'll be doing a video on these if I haven't already done the video on these by the time you see it. So what colour's going to go well here? I would say it's probably going to be something like a purple or a deep maroon. I think I want something, not a red, but almost a red. Not raspberry red, that's the wrong colour. Crimson red. Why am I only picking up reds? Wine red. Wine red. I think we like wine red. So I'm going to put a bit of this on here. Now what I'm going to do is use this almost as my ink pad to stamp this onto, then stamp onto that. So I'm going to have to be reasonably quick in doing this, but not so fast that it's going to look panicked. And then what will be left behind will probably get stamped onto something else. And I use the word stamp because basically it is stamping, it's just not with a stamp. So I'm going to swap positions. I'm going to put this up and this down. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to, sorry if my shoulder gets in the way, I'm going to lay this over the top of this, lift some of the paint off it, immediately come down and press it onto here. I like that. It's just subtle enough for what I'm looking for. I'm looking for subtlety at this point, guys. Not something that's inherent in my nature, I should imagine. So there you go. I've just got a hint in the background. Will I get another one off there or not? Yes, another one of those, and I'll be happy with that, I think. As I said, sorry if my shoulder is in the way. It's just limited space in this craft cave. Okay, I'm liking that. So what we've done is we've given it another layer of visual texture. I think eventually that's going to need a bit of black something on it, but I think we're almost there with that. So let's put that to one side. I have now got this with all of these visual pieces in it. So let's have a look. Have I got one that I just haven't touched? Yes. We're using this one with the blues and the greys and stuff. And I just want to lay this on top. And gently, I'm so gentle with this. I don't want a lot off this. I just want some of it off it. There you go. That was exactly what I was hoping to do. Now there's still a little more on that plate. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to use this one. And that's just given me a hint of that. Now, I don't want to go any darker than that, so I need to remember that when I'm looking at the next one. It's a little bit on there. We'll leave it on there. That's not a problem. So, where were we up to? I think this one is pretty much done, barring it needs a wow factor. Now, usually when I do a wow factor, I usually reach for black. I can reach for gold or bronze or copper or anything like that, but I think if I was to look at this and look at this, they're too near in colour. And I think the gold, although the gold would be lovely, I think it's too near that colour as well. So I want to put something in here. And I quite like that colour, but if I put that colour, it's going to be a problem as well. I think it's black. I mean, I don't usually do a lot of black, but I think in this instance it's going to be black. Now we need to decide what I want to do with the black. So I've used this stencil before and really like this stencil. And I'm wondering whether I can take something out with that one. And I've used this stencil before and absolutely love this stencil. Thank you very much, Tim Holtz. So, right, I will start putting ink down on here, paint down on here, and see how I feel about what I actually want to pull off. Because I'm looking at this edge here for this. Well, that's the region it's going into. Let's put it that way. So let's try this one first. Just laying that over. Going to come in. As I said before, it's slightly trickier with a heavier duty GSM or poundage, but we will get some marks out of this. Oh, okay, I'm not disliking that at all. That's fine. I can deal with that. If I pull that off there, I'm going to immediately lay this onto our labels and just see if I can get a print off that. No, nothing came off it because it was such a light layer of paint on there. Right, there's a bit of a design on there. Do I want that on something else? Yes, I think I do. I think I'm going to add it to this one. Now, because this is a ghost print, it's going to be a lighter version, but I like that. That's beautiful there. Now, there isn't any more lifting off that, but there is still paint on here. So I want to see whether I can get a light version of this stencil into that corner. And I'm saying, sorry, this stencil. I think I may need to use just a little bit more. Just a hint of a hint of a hint. Because I'm not even worried that it's the whole thing. I just want part of it. So let's pop that one down. And I'm looking to almost come across there. Oops, and it's stuck. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I'm okay with that being like that, actually. Now, there's more on there. I know I can pull that off onto something else. I think this one could do with a little bit of drama on it. So I'm going to come in and give this a little bit of something to look at. That's nice. Got a nice faint thing on there. Take this out of the way. Got black all on my fingers now. Right, so we've got stuff on there that we know is going to be light in colour. So let's bring in this one, which was pretty much a clean-up piece. Let's see if I can lift any of that off whatsoever. If it's a really light hint, I'm more than happy because I'm not looking for a heavy coating of black. That's cool, loving that. So, right, focusing on this one, I need to now decide what do I want to do with the rest of it. I think I'm going to slide this out the way and I'm going to do some mark making on here. Now what I'm going to do is, if I find them, I've got a couple of inner tubes from, I think that was a cash register roll, and I think that, or it was tape, there you go. And I'm going to do some circles on here, and I think I want to bring in white to do it. Where is the white? There's the white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the white down on my small jelly plate. I'm just going to roller it out so it's a smooth layer, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to literally put lines on this. Now I don't want to do a huge amount of them, and don't forget going off the page is equally as interesting. I'm then going to come in with the smaller one . There you go. So that's that done. And then as you saw in last month's, I think it was last month, I bought these mandala, I can't say this word, wooden blocks. So I wanted to see whether I can put some of those into here as well. It's giving me a hint. It's not, I think it's because the surface I'm stamping on is uneven. I think if I was stamping on top of my jelly plate, I'd get more, but I don't mind slightly frosted look in the background. I mean, I could add more paint, obviously, and I get more of a result, but I'm okay with this. As I said, it's all about the little bits of visual texture, so that can sit to one side. Right, do I think that's done? I wonder. Right, what else could I do on here, guys? I'm liking the white. Let's not add any more white, but I quite like this tealish colour. Actually, let's do that. And I've already got white on there, so I'll put a little bit of this with this. And we're talking a little bit there. It will actually give me enough to make this into a paler colour. There you go, that's kind of what I was looking for. And I should have reached for something before I did this, and I forgot. So I wonder whether I'm just going to take the stencil itself. It puts colour on, right? That's not what I wanted to do. Bear with me, I need to go over and get a credit card or something. This is what I was looking for. So get some paint on here and just come in and do some line making. Now, these may look like really subtle lines to you, but when you look at the entire thing, you end up with interest. Well, actually, it works better if I smooth it that way, doesn't it? And almost lay it on its side. Right, this is almost completely dry now. Is there anything left to roller? I don't mind that. Right, I think this one is probably done. I will never know until I actually do it. I keep thinking I want that mandala in here, but I want it darker. I want to see it. And I think I want to try the mandala thing again, but I'm going to try it with black this time. And I think maybe I had too thin of a coating of paint on here to be able to do it. Let's see if I can find something else to press this onto. Just put a bit of tissue paper underneath it. It may give me a bit more bounce, should we say. And this is what I mean, guys. I'm no expert. I'm just having a go. So come in, take it off there, and okay, it gives me a better result. It almost looks Christmassy now, doesn't it? A black Christmas. There you go. Right, I think there comes a point where your gut says stop, because there comes a point when you turn into crap. Really, so I'm going to stop there. We're going to call that one done. Right, I do have this one on the go, and I'm thinking that instead of stamping onto it, I just want to give this a bit of grunge around the edges. Just using up the paint, guys. And I'm looking at this one thinking I want a little more of the black from there to be over here, or else that black looks like it's got no reason to be on here. Right, there you go, that's that one. Right, so let me have a little bit of a clean up. And what's the time doing? Oh, we're okay, we've got some time. So I'm a little nervous of the timer now because I know it's on. I'm like, ooh, what am I doing? How am I doing? How do I get this done? Right, let's just see if I can clean off this here. Just clean this up a little bit just by doing a quick pull, lift that off. Because if I've got that on there, then I don't need to actually paint that colour onto a collage. I'll just have a piece of grey for the future. There you go. That can go over there. Right, so we've done, I've lost it, this one now. Now, I quite liked this where it was. I'm not sure I want a lot more on here. I'm not sure I want much on there at all, actually. I can't pick it up. It does seem to be lacking oomph, the wow factor. And it's just quite like that colour. Okay, let's see what I can do with that. I've got one of these, which is just a little imprint thing I made myself. Let's see if I can just lift some of this off this plate and pop it onto there. I could really have done it on there, to be honest, but me being me, I didn't realise what I was doing. Right, just a little square in the corner. Let's take that out of the way. Right, let's pull this up. Right, I may be off screen for this one, guys, so I apologise if I am. Yes, I like that. And I think a little bit more by there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm not upset by that. I quite like that. I like the whole grungy thing. It could do with some letters or numbers or script on it. We'll see. Now I've got this colour here. This one, which I think started life as a clean-up somewhere. So I'm just going to pull a bit of this off onto it, just so I've got something. So hopefully this is showing you guys that you don't actually need to know what you're doing, you just need to have fun. And that's what this is all about. I want to take a piece of that down here. That just gave me a hint of that there, and I'm really not liking that bit in the middle, so I don't mind now. It's got a bit of colour into it. As you can see, you can get quite a lot off one roll on there. That's not far off being done, to be honest. Right, I think that's that done. Just a bit of a roller down. I think what we probably need to do at the end of this all is just do one last pull to take everything off the map when we're finished. So I'm going to clean this up because green may not be the colour I want to use next, and if I mix my colours I could end up with a problem. So right, I'll clean that off there. So as I said in previous video, I hope you're having fun with this. So I think we're going to start playing around with different techniques in the future, and by that I mean using things from nature, household finds, just stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to doing that more, to be honest, more experimental. But I think these first couple just need to be here to establish things. So, right, let's have a look and see what I think anything else needs. Right, this was the other one that I was looking at and thinking, does it need anything? I actually think it doesn't. I quite like that. Nope, that's Biscuit barking at the postman. So I think that one's going to be done. Okay, this one, I just think it needs something here. And I think that something here needs to be some circles or something. I just don't know what they are. Sorry, is that annoying? Sorry, it's a thinking thing, people. It's a thinking thing. Right, let's have a quick look at my colour thing. So if this is this colour, it's telling me purples or maroons or claret colours. And I can do that. That's not a problem. We can go back to this one if I like. See, if I do red, it's going to end up as Christmas. Plum purple. That might work. Let's do a little bit of plum purple. What am I going to do with it, though? Let's have a little bit of a think. Right, I could do bubble wrap, but I'm actually looking at this. This is a sticky mat. You buy them in your inexpensive stores, like a dollar store, a pound store, and you buy, well, for me, I buy it on the roll, and I put it, well, I use it when I do packing up things like cake and that, and I actually use it to stop things sliding around. So I'm just going to pat that down into here. That will give me a pattern that I can then just tap across here, and it should be a subtle texture. See, just a little tiny bit. I'm going to put a little bit down here, and I think just a little incy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini up there in the corner. Okay, that's kind of getting there for me. Not quite yet, but it's getting there. I had a hint of that colour on here, so I think if I can do more of that on here, I'll be happy. As with any mixed media, it's all about the layers. Absolutely, layers, layers, layers. And that's what I like about it. It gives you something to look into a piece of art, so you look into the picture to see more. Okay, that was just a little bit up there maybe. Just a hint. Right, that was like, I like that on there. Right, stop doing that because I have a habit of, oh, I like that, and I keep on doing it then on everything. Where did I put that? Okay, this is the bit of tissue paper I had, so let's add that to the tissue paper. Just to clean off the mat. There you go, that's nice and subtle. I'll probably get another little bit off that if I tried. There you go. Right, so that gives me a little bit more on the tissue paper front. I think it's time I looked at this one. And if I was to be honest with you, I think this one needs white. So I'm going to have white if I use this roller, though, I can tell you. I think it needs white. I'm not sure what to put the white on with, though. So let's have a little look around the table of doom. Actually, I know. Let's use one of my old favourites. Let's use some bubble wrap. Most people on the planet will encounter bubble wrap at some point in their life. Goodness knows, it crops up everywhere. So, and it comes in different sizes and different shapes, and it's incredibly useful because I'm thinking this almost needs bubbles. So let's put a little, I need to buy more white paint, I think. Let's put a little bit of that there. A little bit of the old brayer action going on there. Just so I've got enough. Now, I don't want to absolutely saturate the bubbles, but I do want, just put enough so that I can tap them down. Interest, yay! There you go. I think maybe take a little bit more of that to be down there. And I was looking at that corner there. Yep, there's another bit I can see. It's funny, when you start doing it, you go, oh, that needs an area, that needs an area. Okay, I think that's done. Right, let's put that in the to-do part of the done pile. As we're cleaning up things, let's give this some dots. If I remember right, this was the one I rescued. I've lost track of which one it was, so if it isn't, I apologise. I don't mean to lie to you. I just can't remember which one it is. I don't think there's a whole lot left on that. So, and of course you can use this time and time again. There will come a point when it will become so encrusted that as you're using it, previous layers of paint will come off it. That's subtle enough. I still think this needs, I would say, a focal point, but that's not exactly what I mean. But if I put this one up here, because that one needs more work, it could be that that one is destined to never be finished. So, right, let's just brayer that. Let's put some of that on here, actually, because you never know what I'm going to do with the last pull on this plate. We could do something just to, oh, see, I didn't remember that was underneath there. Right, we'll deal with that one in a little while. So how am I up to? Where am I up to? So we've got a few done. I've only got 2 left at my feet and then the rescue. So let's clear that up again. I think we've looked at this one, but I keep looking at this thinking it does need a something. I'm wondering whether it needs numbers. I do like my numbers. I think I'm going to do numbers. Right, okay. I think we're going to hit the drama button with this one. I think I want something quite deep and solid, so it's either brown, actually brown, that would be a good idea. Actually, that brown's a bit not warm enough. I was thinking something more. That's not it. Maybe if I use a bit of brown and put a bit of orange with it. How about that? Oh, paint goober. I do have questions from people normally. Do I prefer paint bottles or paint tubes? I tend to enjoy using paint bottles, and the reason behind that is that I can undo the lid and put the paint back in if I've pulled out too much. Usually with the tubes, it's a heck of a lot harder to do that. Okay, and that's my personal view. Although what I do find a lot is that the paint in the bottles is a lot looser consistency than the paint in the tubes. And there's a place for both of them. Absolutely a place for both of them. Right, I'm going to pop that on there. Now I'm thinking this side is the side I don't particularly like. So I'm just going to pop. Had a horrible thought that moment that I put it on the wrong way around. So right, coming in here and just pressing down enough so I can get that paint to come up through the gaps. Yes, that was what that needed. Okay, happy with that. Right, that one's done. I wonder whether I can be cheeky and pull one more off one here. I don't know, I'm feeling this one is feeling a bit like a lost cause to me. I'm sure this is the one that we rescued. Yeah, it's just getting muddier and muddier. I'm not enjoying that one. Right, this, can I put anything onto label stickers? No, nothing came off that. Right, I have all that on the plate. I only have this one left to do, and I don't think that's the right colour for that. So what do I do about that? Have I got another bit of paper anywhere? I do. I've got another bit of paper. Right. This is thinner, but it works equally as well. So I think if I just pop this on here, maybe it'll be a start for another one. Actually, I had one like this before, I think, and put it to one side. I didn't know where to put it there. Ooh, that's nice and grungy. Wonder whether I can be a cheeky chappy and continue it. Happy accidents, that's what I call those. Oh, I quite like that. We'll put that down to be looked at. Okay, so we still have the one that I don't like. I have all this on this plate, and actually I do. This is the one that I started, I think, in the last video. It was a clean-up. So I think I'm going to get some of this off here onto here, and I think I'm going to use a yellow, just because I can, because this is brown, and now I think my little beeper's probably going to go off any minute now. Oh, that's not what I need it to look like. I obviously didn't shake that enough. That's what happens if you paint stands, guys. It separates out. It's still a bit more liquid than I'd like, but it'll probably be fine for lifting this off. And then I think we'll just do a quick review of them all, and then we're probably done. So hopefully you've liked this one. We'll see. I mean, hopefully I've done them in the right order and posted them in the right order and not been talking about a video you haven't seen yet. So there we go. There you go. Try and peel this up. Almost looks as if it's getting nice and grungy. Oh, that turned out fabulous. Okay, that's added the realms of. Okay, the one that we didn't quite finish is this one. And I'm at a standstill as to think what needs to be on it. Right, what did my colour chart say that it needs to be? So I'm thinking that's the dominant colour, which is that. Which is telling me red. Now, I've been avoiding red because it's Christmas. Well, it's Christmas in my mind anyway. But, you know, maybe I need to just do it. Oh, and there's the timer, guys. So, right. Maybe I just need one element in red. See if I've got one of these that's quite open. Like that one, say. That might be a bit too powerful, but that one might be okay. I'm torn. I don't want it to be... Let's try that one. Okay. The colour wheel said red. Ceri said no, but we did red anyway. I'm going to do this in the middle so that I can position... I think this is the raspberry red, is it? Tuscan red. Okay. I think I'm going to do this and then see what I do with it. I think that's more raspberry red. That's just me having a moment, obviously. We'll look at the labels one day, guys. I promise you to. If I pop... Oh, trouble is if I do it in the middle, I might get it elsewhere on here. But I think I want to do it in that corner. I'm not sure whether putting the paint in the middle was a good idea when I wanted to put this on the edge. Actually, you know, I'm not overly upset by that. I do feel it probably needs another little bit of it somewhere though. Let's move it up so I can actually try and get a piece of it in. I don't need the whole thing. The pattern's already been established. Okay, I want to say I'm okay, but I don't know that I am okay, but maybe. Okay, maybe. We'll put that in the done pile. Let's take that out of there. Okay, right, so I need to clean this up. I'm wondering, this is one of the ones that didn't make the grade last time, or when I was last doing it on my own. So let's see if I can just pull that off there, just add to it. And that's the reason why I keep to hand the ones that I don't overly like, because I could just pull them off and see, that's already becoming interesting. The lost cause, let's see if I can get anything off of the lost cause. So it's a bit judgmental calling it a lost cause, I know, but it's not the best of ones. Not really. Okay, right, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to show you what we've done, and then hopefully you'll enjoy that. So we have this cleanup one, which I quite like. Before we start, this is the one, I'm not sure what's happening to that. You might see that in a future video. It seems to be a serial piece that's just not working for me. That, I quite like that. I'm going to leave that up there. That will come through. This is the one that we just did. Looking at it, it's got sort of a European feel about this one. I think it's probably this shape and this. It's almost like Turkish or... Sorry, Turkey's not in Europe, I apologise. My geography is absolutely appalling. I believe this was a clean-up one as well, which quite nice. That'll be something, I should put that in the pile of things to be tickled up later. I did like this one. I would use that one, that was fine. This one's a nice bright bouncy piece. I'm loving that. It reminds me very much of bathroom tiles and stuff, but I'm okay with that. That's cool. That's a fun one. And then the last couple were this one, which was just ended up as bubbles. And we had that one. So hopefully that was fine. My craft room is once again an absolute disaster zone, but that's what happens when you jelly plate. So until next time, guys, bye-bye for now, and hope you're enjoying it. Ta-ra now.